I must admit my own ignorance. I didn't know very much about what was happening in Bahrain until about a year ago when I was going to an event at the embassy, and there were a handful of protesters out there, and they showed me these horribly bloodied bodies of people who had been tortured by the regime. I took them inside and I met the ambassador Huda Nonu, and I said to her, there are people outside protesting. She said, oh, they're just being paid. So let me ask you, anybody here being paid? I showed her the terrible pictures, and she said, this is not true. And I said, but this is coming from the most respected human rights organizations in the world. She put her arm around me and she said, my dear, if we torture in Bahrain, it's just a little bit. Shame. Shame. So I wondered why it was that my government was not speaking out about the abuses in Bahrain. And then I learned something here, that the home of the U.S. Fifth Fleet was in Bahrain, and I thought maybe that was one of the reasons the U.S. was not speaking out. And then when I saw peaceful protesters rising up in Bahrain, just as they have all over the Arab world, I know that my government took 30 years before it condemned Mubarak in Egypt. But I thought perhaps we had learned a lesson. And then when I hear my government saying Qaddafi must go, I wonder, why are they not saying the Khalifa regime must go? And then I realized that my government continues to sell weapons to the government of Bahrain. And then I discovered that the U.S. government is not only selling weapons to the Saudis, but has the largest $60 billion weapons deal in the history of weapons sales. And as you know only too well, those very weapons sold by the United States to the Saudi regime are being used against the peaceful protesters in Bahrain. So I just want to stop by saying that we all need to pressure this government to be consistent about standing up for peaceful protesters all over the Arab world, that if indeed there are dictators like Qaddafi who should not be leading their countries, let us be consistent and all say together and pressure this government to say, Al-Khalifa regime must go.
Al-Khalifa regime must go.
Al-Khalifa regime must go. Al-Khalifa regime must go. Al-Khalifa regime must go. Al-Khalifa regime must go. Thank you. We will stand with you and all the people of Bahrain until Bahrain is free. Thank you.